Hi, everybody, and thank you all for coming and for being here. I'm Giulia Tomasello, and I'm an interaction designer and researcher, and I work in the field of interactive wearables, material finishes, and biotechnologies. So today I'm going to present you the project that got the grand prize for the artistic exploration, and it's called Future Flora. But first, I would like to start with a statement which I always like to mention. So that's me. I'm a woman. I have a body. And my body is a social construction rather than a naturally given datum. And it's a statement from Simone de Beauvoir. So it's really explaining how the woman in the society can be understood in two ways, from the natural woman and from the woman that is actually constructed from what the society is thinking. In my field, in my background, so I'm a product designer, and naturally I've been growing then with technology, so as an interaction designer, and I work in the field of biohacking, wearables, 3D printing, and biocouture. So those are a few of my projects that are in the slides, and what I'm working with, or what I try to aim every time, is to question and communicate the boundaries between technology and our bodies. So really try to work on this relationship between them. This is one of the environments which I love to work on, and it's a biohacker space. So this in particular is in London, in Hackney, so is a really DIY biohacking space, in a maker space, where people like me, like you, that are just interested in amateur on working with from wood to technology and to biology, they can go and start to grow bacteria or grow microorganisms. So as you can see, it's a really multidisciplinary environment, because you can merge different disciplines, from design to technology to biology. So what I start to do is to grow cellulose at the beginning. And I was growing cellulose like kombucha, that is a fermented fungus coming from the fermentation of sugar, tea, and vinegar. This fermentation from the bacteria, it grows this cellulose on the top, that when you, as you can see, you kind of pull it out from the bath, it really looks like a vegetable leather. And there are already many designers, like Susan Lee, which they work with it to make wearable dress, which they are not wearable really yet, because as soon you are wearing them, the moisture of your skin is making the cellulose wet again, so breakable. And in my studying, what I wanted to do is trying to hack the process of the kombucha growing and making it conductive. So in my specialization, I work with electronic textiles, so textiles that are embedded with technology or with copper inside, so a textile can be resistant or conductive. And what I wanted to do is trying to make a biological textile conductive. So at the end of the circle, it was sustainable, because the biological part, you could recycle and reuse the conductivity. So what I was really trying is to grow a bioconductive skin, even though our skin, if you think about, it's already conductive. And then I moved to bacteria. So I was really growing bacteria and growing biotextiles, as I call them, because I was really trying to merge bacteria and textile and to see how we can wear bacteria, actually. And the process became so quick, and I was so passionate that I started to grow them at home. So from the lab, I was at home, and I really was domesticating biotechnology, because if you think, they're not like a piece of wood or metal that you take them and you cut and you use them. They're actually living organisms, so you need to nurture them, you need to let them grow, you need to feed them, and you need to take care of them. So you need to see if they're growing good, and when you're using them, if they're alive or if they're already dead. So why the bacteria? Because as we all should know, in our skin microbiome, we are made by the 90% of bacteria and only the 10% of human cell. So if you will start to think that actually maybe we should sometimes think more about these invisible organisms that are surrounding us, then you will change the way you behave, because you feel aware of something that is going on. And the field where I'm working on using technology and using wearable technology is the field of women's healthcare and female taboo. So this was my question at the time. What if we would wear bacteria to empower women? So what if you actually think that our makeup is made of bacteria, is made of something that is living organism, and what actually if you're using them for another purpose? So this is the project. Future Flora is an harvesting kit designed for women to treat and prevent vaginal infection. The woman with the kit can make her own pad that is made of bacteria, that are healthy bacteria that you can find in a pipette in the kit. And when you are growing really your treatment. So the woman is becoming a participant in this world of science and of her own treatment. And this project is coming from different case studies, quite interesting. So the first one, bacteria, it's a product that they launched in US in 2010. And this is a soap, essentially, made of bacteria. So the scientists behind really confirmed that actually, if we are made with bacteria, why we every time wash ourselves to clean them out? Why every time we bleach things? And so why not that we actually wash ourselves with bacteria to keep the balance in our body? I didn't see it yet in the market, but it was launched in 2010. The second one in the middle is a yogurt tampon. So basically, our grandmas, they were suffering as well of vaginal infection, and they didn't have any cream that we have now. So what they were doing, it was to put yogurt in their vagina or in their underwear. And why? This is because the vaginal flora is made mainly on probiotics or lactobacillus, and are the same probiotics that are in the yogurt. So why not to put yogurt in the underwear? And the last case study, it's called vaginal seeding. So this is very recent, and it was quite groundbreaking for me because, so basically, when women give birth through the section C and not with a natural birth, they're not giving the right amount of bacteria that they should give with a natural birth. And so what some women decided to do, it was to really take some swab of their vagina and to put in the body and the face of the kid. So to really kind of give directly the bacteria that they had in their vagina to the baby. And the doctor, they couldn't say no. Even now, the doctor cannot say no because rationally it works. But actually, with breastfeeding and during the nurturing of the baby, you're still giving the right amount of bacteria. So with Future Flora, you're really growing this living culture pad that when you're wearing in your underwear, it will start to rebalance the flora that is missing during the infection. So now I'm going to show you a quick video that shows how it works. If it goes. No, but you can all come to the exhibition there, where actually there is the kit, and you will be able to see the full video of how it works, the kit, and also a documentary called Girl Biophilia, which actually explains if women will be able to actually wear this bacteria and this pad with bacteria in the underwear. And this project is really coming mainly from the women's in 70s. So women's that in Boston, they were called women's doctor, and they were fighting for their right and for their emancipation. But mainly, not only on this, they were fighting for education. So they were really fighting to make women aware on what is going on with birth control, with menstruation, with pregnancy, that are all social taboo. They're all female taboo, that if we are actually a bit honest with ourselves, they are still now. So we are still in this really like barrier on speaking about even normal menstruation or candida. So these women, they were really meeting every week with other women and trying to explain as if they were a doctor, try to read and to study together actually what we can do all together to solve a menstruation problem or birth control. And they made a book that is called Our Bodies, Ourselves, which in a way became my Bible somehow. And so recently, and you will be able to see it also in the exhibition space, I've been working also on another project because I forgot to mention, but Future Flora, it was part of my master thesis of 2 years ago. So it was a master thesis in Central St. Martin's at the Material Futures, and I graduated with that. And since then, I started to really work proudly, let's say, on women's healthcare. So this is another project that is called Kant, and it's a project where I've been invited to work on as an artist. And we were invited to reclaim the word Kant. And as we all know, Kant is such a dispregiative word that you will never like to hear it. But actually, especially in US, it's really used a lot. And what does it mean, Kant? Kant, it means vagina. So if we really go behind in the etymology and where it's coming from, you actually don't take it anymore as an offense. Because if you actually are aware of the word, you shouldn't be offended. Who is telling you, it means that really doesn't know where it's coming from. And the whole exhibition was really to kind of explain actually the power of the word. And what I've been working with a colleague was to make a publication that you will be able to see also in the exhibition, a video where we were actually thinking that Kant was the pomegranate. So we were really kind of making the comparison with the fruit, because the pomegranate is like round, like a woman. When you cut it, it's bleeding. Inside it has the seeds like ovaries. So we were really playing with this kind of comparison. And we also did a podcast on NTS radio, where we are really speaking about Kant qualms. And this is a recent project which I'm working on now, and which we just won some funding from the Biomaker Challenge. So here I'm working with 3 scientists from Cambridge universities, and we are trying to make a wearable biosensor to monitor vaginal discharge. So again, vaginal fluid, something that we don't speak, and also women, we lose every day in our underwear, and we basically just don't know what it is. And there is no shame, neither to speak about or to don't know what is there, because actually there are also no data. So scientifically there are no data, and in education we never, even our mother, like nobody really told us what is there, if it's pre-ovulation, after menstruation, pre-infection. So what we are trying to do is to make a circuit with a pH sensor that will detect the pH balance and trying to monitor and prevent vaginal bacterial, vaginal or urine infection. And doesn't go anymore. So you will be able, if you want to see this project also at the exhibition as a description, and it will be ready by end of October. There is not anymore, but thank you very much.